I'm just going to get straight into this because over the last 24 hours, I will say one thing. Um, and this may be probably a series of videos. This may be even 10 videos, maybe, just due to the amount of unpacking you have to do with these videos. Now, when we look at things from an Islamic perspective, right? Islam has a moral compass, okay? Despite what despite what the people I'm going to talk about say about Islam, um, you know, there's a moral compass in Islam. Do some people violate that moral compass? Absolutely, yes. But we usually hold those people to account, and yes, when it comes to it as well, the Sharia is implemented when it's applicable upon these people. Now, what needs to be said is that over the last 24 hours, I myself, and I didn't want to do it, but I did it. I myself have, you know, dug into these Epstein files. And what this tells you, and what I get from this, is number one, the same people who dislike Islam, the same people who dislike people of a different hue of skin than them, are the same people doing the very things that they accuse others of doing. It must be said that one MAGA person, and he's one of many, just got caught. I think he just got caught with a gig or so of the CP, and also he got caught doing incest as well. What do these same Wyatt people accuse Muslims of doing mostly? Cousin marriages, as well as I want to say incest, as well as CP. What this tells you is that it's just a deflection to the very way that they are themselves. It just tells you that these people are actually guilty of what they accuse you of. This is what this tells you. Now, it needs to be said that what needs to be said about this is that unfortunately, another thing needs to be said in regards to this as well. Minorities, unfortunately, them being Jay-Z, Pusha T, as well as the mother of the Mamdani guy, they think that by orbiting around them, that they will be safe. But as a matter of fact, let this be a lesson that no matter what you do, you're still going to be looked at the same way by these people. You're only a tool to the Wyatts, basically. It's an unfortunate thing that you choose to be a tool, but just understand that in doing this, you're not doing yourself a favor. They say that all money is not good money. And this is the case with this situation right now. Now, what also needs to be said is this: the same people who advocate for traditional marriages, the same people who quote unquote advocate for good Christian values, the same people who advocate for make America great again, the same people who advocate for actually segregation and things of that nature. And also, if you go on Twitter Spaces, and I've heard this, and for some reason, that guy Myron Gaines thinks by orbiting these people that it's going to make it better. But I've heard on Twitter Spaces these same white people who are awfully quiet on the Epstein files. These same white people have called for the castration of minorities and things like that because of the simple fact that I hate to say it, but they are, for some reason, and this is just the solution, but they won't even follow their own solution. The solution to their fear of dying out or whatever the case may be is simply to start more families. But we see that while they accuse us of malpractices, they're actually the ones who are doing the malpractices. Of course, you're not going to be able to start a family if you are involved in what I want to say um, these kind of things. Another thing that needs to be said about this whole Epstein situation is you don't hear the feminists actually talking about it. You don't hear the feminists out crying about it. As a matter of fact, many of them have been quite quiet about this whole issue. And the bad thing about this is that it will affect people politically. It will definitely affect people politically because what you're going to do and what you're already seeing, you're already seeing this as we speak. You're already going to see the president, and not just one president, maybe a lot of other presidents are going to do things in order to take in order to distract you off of the simple fact that these people were complicit in, you know, these kind of sickening things. Um, Now, one thing I also want to say, and this is one thing that I hate to say it too, but the very people who, will call themselves pro-black, the very people who will call themselves pan-African, um, are usually, unfortunately, in the same train as the people who they think are the quote-unquote enemies. It needs to be also said, this also needs to be said. There's something that needs to be said as well. There's something that also needs to be mentioned. Is that usually when you have the Pan-African who is usually anti-Islamic by his nature, usually the reason of that anti-Islam rhetoric is because, unfortunately, he wants to perpetuate the very same things that he says that his enemies are doing. Case in point, Shaka bars. This guy I never liked. This guy was always anti-Islamic. This guy was always futurist, but yet at the same time, he is now, um, he was affiliated with Ben Stiller, and Ben Stiller was affiliated in what? Pizzagate. Now what they're showing in these emails is that Pizzagate was actually a real thing. So when you saw Shaka bars, for example, in Africa, in these places, I hate to say it, but his intentions probably were not good. I hate to say it, but his intentions were probably for worse cause involving innocent souls. Now, in terms of how this relates to gender relations in the West, um, what's going to happen, in my opinion, is you're going to still have people who are going to still support Trump. As a matter of fact, you already have people who are trying to advocate for these different kind of malpractices, and you already have people trying to normalize these malpractices as well. So all I can say really in regards to these things that are going on, the only thing I can really say to what's going on is that one must be prepared for the worst. I wish what I was saying, that these whole Epstein files were fake. I wish they were fake, but now, these people are showing that they're real. Now, I will say something, okay? I will say something about the whole bottom line. And then I'll probably have to make another video in regards to these things. Now, what they will say, most of what they will say is that, they hate the, let's just say they hate the small hats. They'll say that they hate the small hats. They'll say that they, dislike the small hats. They'll say that their country is not, is a sovereign country. And they'll say that, make America great again. They'll say all of these things only for it to be a situation of, only for it to be a situation of that they really, they really are feeling the opposite way in terms of this. They actually are opposite thinking. They actually enjoy the perversions that the very people they say that they hate provide. And the thing is about the Muslim is that the Muslim who fears God, the Muslim who is learned and fit, the Muslim who is a revolutionary, that Muslim is against the grain of what they stand for. Therefore, they have to deflect on that Muslim because they have to project on that Muslim. Because, when you look at it, you see that the Muslim is going to want a family. The Muslim is going to want, a decent, wholesome wife. The Muslim is going to want these things. But him wanting these things, he is, the fact that he wants these things, it's detrimental to what they have going on. It's very, very detrimental. This is why, unfortunately, you see the hatreds of many Muslim athletes. You see it in the comment section as well. You know, um, it also must be said that guys like, for example, Andrew Tate, he's been quiet on it because he doesn't want to be in the crosshairs of it. But just know and believe that I'm pretty sure that while he's not directly involved in it, I'm pretty sure that he, is in cahoots with people who were involved in it or has some kind of connection to it. Hence why he was so mad at Sneeko playing this song. But I'm going to end this now and just understand that this is unfortunately just the beginning. And I think that honestly, I'm going to have to make a lot more videos breaking these whole things down. And I may have to do a live video breaking these whole things down with the Epstein files and what this entails. Because now we're at a situation where we're at a situation in which if things aren't done politically, we're probably going to see more things come out. And this may be a problem for the Muslims. So let's just be prepared. With that being said, Fuller signing out. Inshallah.